على سلامتكم. الحق مش عارف منين باش نبدا وحتى خايف شويه، ولكن الحاجه اللي متاكد منها انه الكلام اللي باش يتقال الكل من قلبي ليكم. Hello everyone, I want to start this talk by a picture of me taken in 1996 in Zahra, a small town not far from here. As you can see, the water was clear, almost crystalline. It was a live place full of family, energy, and movement. And people really came from many cities in Tunis. But sadly, this coast today is affected by industrial pollution and climate transformation. So, at this moment, I understood something very important for me, that climate crisis destroys nature and ecosystem, but also memories, territories, and human rights. My name is Adel Azouni. 10 years ago, I dreamed of studying geology, and I did it. Also, like many Tunisians after 2011, I dreamed of better, stronger, and democratic country. Through my work and research, I realized also that climate crisis, it's not only scientific fight, but it is also ecological, human, and social fight. In Qarqna, 3 years ago, I met a fisherman who spent more than 40 years living at sea. Living at sea, more than 40 years knowing the currents, the seasons, and biodiversity. More than 40 years living with the rhythm of the Mediterranean. But that day, he told me something that I will never forget it. He said, I didn't change my work because I wanted to. I changed my work because the sea had me to. To be honest, I didn't understand what he wanted to say. But he talked about the biodiversity declined and resources became scarce. Also, he talked about a new species disturbed all the natural ecosystem. We talk about the blue crab, known also by Daesh. Why Daesh? Because he destroys everything. Nets, attacked fish, and also turned the entire fishing activity into a nightmare. This fisherman, after 40 years of career, he had no choice except reinvent his activity and himself. So I think, yes, climate change destroys nature and ecosystem, then jobs, territories, and human life. Let's take a moment to look together what's happening in Tunisia today, from the north to the south, from the west to the east. In cities like Qarqna, Gebes, الهويدية in Tabarqa, القروين, Qasrin, people today are living the effect of climate change and fragile environmental ecosystem. In Qarqna, fishermen are observing every year the sea level rising and coastal erosion. In Gebes, I saw one day, 3 years ago, I think, or 4 years ago, it was in 2022, a scene that affected me, really deeply affected me. It was a child playing peacefully on the beach. It was in Ghanouch, maybe you visited before. He was building shapes like many children in the world. But just few meters away from him, just front of him, a huge, massive industrial facility. And it was the famous Tunisian chemical group. So at this time, I asked myself the question, what future we are building for our land, for our children and for these children? A future where some territories became sacrificed zone. Today, people in Gabes, local community in Gabes, are suffering since many years, since 1972, the effects of industrial pollution. Pollution destroys everything, the soil, sea, agriculture, and public health. So yes, today we are losing memories and landscape. So I think the real question today, how do we repair our land? And that's exactly what I'm trying to dedicate my work to. I work on the intersection between scientific research, social innovation, and citizen commitment. For me, I have one and only goal, making environmental protection a national priority. For me, I believe that acting on climate change, it's a simple thing, preserving nature and protecting community memories and the future. And there is, for me too, one purpose that I'm trying to do, helping both nature and community to rebuild. For me, today, if I'm doing this work, it's not only for scientific reports. For me, it's for the fisherman of Qarqna, that I hope one day he can still living connected to the Mediterranean. For the children of Ghanouch, maybe one day he can play in a clean beach. For me too, because I wish to swim again in الزهرة حمام نلف سليمان. ديما يتقال على الزهرة وعلى تونس الخضراء، ولكن نتصور واللي متأكد منه انه اليوم الخضار يصير بالفعل مش بالهدرة.